Hi, I'm Nathan. I go by Peteparker, and every week I do comic book reviews because that's a rule at my house. If I want to keep buying them, I got to review them. So here I go. This review is going to be for Uncanny X-Force number 10, as you can tell, is in my hand. It's written by Rick Remender and drawn by Billy Tan and Rich Elson, with Paul Mounts doing the color art, awesome, and Asad Ribic doing the cover art as usual. Another awesome comic book this week. I was really not inspired by the covers that I had in my pile. Even this one is kind of a little boring, right? Especially with this big plus special bonus book, Iron Man 2.0. Ugh, that's better, right? Who cares? But it makes for an extra edition, and I'll even talk about that because it was better than I expected too. So in this story, right? It seemed like the chips were cashed early, right? Because the very beginning of the story, the Shadow King Emil Farouk, or whatever his name is pronounced, sells or gives a footage of Warren Worthington as Archangel, or Archangel, depending on the way you say it, killing some civilian soldiers in their last escapade, or the one right before. It's been crazy. And you think to yourself, whoa, wait a minute, so it's going to get public that this team exists that's killing, people, and it's really put really well in here, much better put than I put it. I don't even know exactly how to say it. I wanted to read it to you because it's really well done. Yes. Together they assassinate rivals, dissidents, and anyone that they believe to be a threat to their agenda. Which is true, right? They do tend to assassinate the people that get in their way, more or less, or people that are going to stop their what they want to happen from happening. But basically, that just snowballs into Archangel really coming out as being the evil version of Archangel, the one that was implanted by Apocalypse, and not actually Warren Worthington in control of his inner demons. Which, from that last story, we also got, too, that his inner demons were released and everybody forgot about it right away. But there's too much going on within this team for them not to notice things that are changing, right? Betsy notices immediately that he's not going to their sessions anymore, and that's weird, right? And everybody notices he's acting differently than he usually was, and he storms out, so of course they go after him, right? He goes after this tape or whatever, trying to recover it, and he kills the people that are associated with it or tries to kill him. And his team comes after him and stops him from killing one of the dudes, and they ultimately put him kind of in prison in the X cave or whatever. And then they bring in specialists. They have to bring in a specialist, right, in Archangel's situation, which is based on Apocalypse's stuff. So they had to have somebody who knows a lot about Apocalypse come in and help them fix the situation or help them diagnose what's wrong with him to try to get their friend back, right? So I won't tell you exactly who that is, because really that's an awesome part of the story, and it tells you everything about what's going to be happening in this book. I mean, everybody's seen the little posters and stuff like that, where this team and an alternate future or alternate reality team are meeting and fighting. Well, this is the book that explains why that happens, right? And it's all because of one person. You probably can guess who that is, but I couldn't. I tried really hard while they were talking about who this would be that would help them, who knew Apocalypse's technology well enough to help them pull it out of Archangel or whatever. And it's some wacky, crazy science stuff that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Crap, I'm going to have to say who it is, because I want to talk about some of those panels. Alright, so if you don't want to hear the big spoil to the story, here it is. It's Dark Beast, surprisingly, right? Age of Apocalypse. The Uncanny X-Force is going to meet Age of Apocalypse characters at some point in the future, according to all the solicit material. And they're going to fight. So you got to have an Age of Apocalypse character come to them who Dark Beast was just recently caught by Wolverine and Storm and Spider-Man and Gambit and Emma Frost, maybe not even Gambit, in the sewers when he was taking control of Kurt Connors. That was not a very good story. But they talk about it in here, how Wolverine just caught this guy, and now they're breaking him out of prison to have them come help with Warren, and lo and behold, guess what they have to do? They gotta go to the Age of Apocalypse to cure Warren or whatever. Which really, to me, sounds like an escape attempt, right? You got this, you got Dark Beast, who's a bad guy. He was right about to go to prison. He's not happy about that situation. You break him out. He's like, sure, I can help you. You just got to take me right by my house, and we'll be cool there, right? So maybe they'll let him go over there. Maybe he'll escape. That seems like the most likely, and not a really smart way to go on that. Anyway, but the story was really good. Again, right? It made you go, oh, that's what all that posters and solicit materials about. That makes a lot of sense, right? And it takes the problem of Archangel with Apocalypse's retrofit or whatever, that whole huge problem that seemed like it was all in his head, and it seemed like they had psychics working with him to get it fixed, and that's ultimately what it was going to be because they had that whole Shadow King thing involvement. Thought surely it's just going to be a mind thing where it's a crazy mindscape idea, and no, it's not. It's Dark Beast. You got to go to an alternate reality to go get some equipment and pull this thing out of him or whatever. That's way cool, right? That's really cool. Anyway, I really like the entire story. Again, from Uncanny X-Force. In the past, I really haven't liked Billy Tan's artwork, but it seems to... It's different in different spots of the story, obviously, because he was helped by Rich Elson in here. But I didn't notice that I didn't like it as much as I have in the past. There's actually some really awesome panels. This one with Archangel standing over the guy he's going to try to murder. This one with Wolverine crashing in and going to stop him from murdering that guy. The inner monologue is great through that whole thing. This one where Archangel's fighting the transformation back and forth between being the good guy and being the agent of Apocalypse. Just some really great panels in here for sure. I did think that the little wing things, the wing trappers, whatever you call them, wing cuffs maybe, are weird. They're weirdly drawn and a weird idea. But I guess they have to be there. You can't have his wings able to do anything. And then there's this one panel, a series of panels. Maybe it's just the page itself. Check out Beard's weird nose, or Dark Beast's weird nose there, right? Now check it 2 panels below. Doesn't that look more like Dark Beast, right? The major difference between Beast and Dark Beast is Dark Beast looks like the old school Beast that looks like a monkey or an ape. And Beast looks like a cat, right? It looks like he's fluctuating between these two situations. Here he's a kitty, and here he's a gorilla. Kitty, gorilla. All on the same page, right? I think if it wasn't on the same page, I probably wouldn't notice it as much. But that's pretty garbage. Anyway, and then you get a big page of him. Hey, we gotta go to the Age of Apocalypse. But the splash page with the next cover is awesome. It's always awesome. They always throw those in there because they know the covers are totally awesome. So, that's the end of that story. I'm going to rate everything at the end. I'm just going to go through Iron Man 2.0 at the end. This is a special bonus book, which is weird because it's a little bit of a reprint. I've heard lots of people talk about reading this specific book, this specific issue of this series previously. It's the one in Iron Man 2.0 where War Machine gets a whole new suit from Tony Stark. So I was kind of reluctantly reading through this. I didn't know that's what it was. It's going through it because it's there, trying to give Iron Man 2.0 a shot. There's a lot of panels with no talking, which is fine because they're all sad about a nuclear blast in Russia, apparently, which actually made a gigantic hole and they describe it as a dirty bomb. Now, being the physicist that I am, I know that dirty bombs technically don't blow a gigantic crater in the earth. Like, even if you bury them, they don't do that. Dirty bombs are just made to make everything dirty, right? To spread junk all over junk and make everything contaminated and gross. Or harmful, right? So, but who cares, right? Minor detail. So then at the very end of this whole story, you get Tony Stark talking to Rhodey, throwing away his big guns and missiles, saying that those are ridiculous. And he says, hey, you remember this guy? This guy had some stuff on him. But then they don't even talk about this armor anymore, which I thought was weird. Hey, you remember this guy? He's going to help us out. But it really didn't have anything to do with anything, because he already had the entire new armor set up and ready to give Rhodey. And you can hear about that, or read about that in this book. All the new functions on there, if you care. It's really weird to tie in an Iron Man book with the X-Force, because it's like X-Men and Iron Man. They don't necessarily go together. But I guess they're assuming that, the other one was good and well-received enough that you'll like it also. To be honest, I didn't really care for anything in that story at all, except for the new armor and that conversation between Tony Stark and Rhodey. So, but that was awesome to have in here. I mean, I got it technically for free because I was going to have to pay $3.99 for this book anyway. So there you go for that. So what I'm going to give, I still don't love Billy Tan's artwork, but I didn't notice it as being bad. I think I'm getting used to it, I guess, or whatever. I like it. I don't love it. I didn't like it. I don't like it as much as the artist before. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because the story was awesome. There's some awesome panels, but the art is not fantastic. So there you go, 4 out of 5. And then the backup story, I am so glad I didn't have to buy that in another book and that they gave it to me for free. But I don't really want to rate it because it's only like a partial story anyway, I think. No, it is. It's the whole book. Wow, that's not great when only the last 3 pages of the whole book is good, so let's just leave that as a 2 and move on. Alright, so there you go. Uncanny X-Force, 4 out of 5. It's awesome. This whole series is awesome. I'm sure it will continue to be awesome as they go to an alternate reality that I already like. So there you go, 4 out of 5. Check out my other reviews at YouTube under Spidey207 or iFanboy, Comic Vine, or Marvel and DC databases under Peteparker. I'm always on Marvel and DC databases, so you can usually catch me there to ask me questions or check out the site, because that's what I do all the time. So there you go. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you next time.